Imagine standing in front of a river that has dried almost completely. The channel is cracked into hard brown plates. A few steps ahead, one muddy pool reflects the sun. It is small enough to walk around and too important to abandon. You are thirsty. So is everyone beside you. Across the pool, a hyena watches. Farther back, almost invisible against the dead grass, a lion lies flat. A thin antelope reaches the water first. It checks the open ground, steps forward, and lowers its mouth. The grass explodes. The lion hits before the antelope can lift its head. Mud and blood scatter into the pool. The hyena moves closer. The human stops several steps from the water. Now the problem is physical. Do not drink, and thirst gets worse. Go closer, and the lion may choose you next. Wait for the predators to leave, and the heat takes more water from your body. Walk away, and the next pool may already be gone. About 74,000 years ago, people occupied a seasonal riverbank at the Shinfa archaeological site in what is now northwestern Ethiopia. Evidence from teeth and ostrich eggshell shows that they were there during a period of exceptionally strong seasonal aridity. The river was failing. The human record continued. So how did they survive when the last water drew every danger toward it? The group waits until the lion drags its kill away from the edge. But waiting has a cost. One person has stopped sweating. His mouth is dry, but that is not the worst sign. When the group rises, he rises slowly. He follows, then stumbles on ground. Everyone else crosses easily. He can still see the water. His body is losing the ability to reach it. Dehydration does not wait until the body is empty. As water is lost, sustained sweating becomes harder. Heat strain rises, concentration slips, muscles tire, and walking slows. The person who needs water most can become the least able to search for it. That changes the decision. They cannot wait for the pool to disappear and then leave. By then, the weakest member may be unable to make the journey, so they should leave now, except no one knows what is downstream. Last season's pool may be dust. Every kilometer costs more sweat. Returning costs it twice. A child, an injured adult, or one person already weakened by thirst sets the speed for the whole group. The choice becomes simple enough to remember. Staying spends the water. Moving spends the body. Before they spend either one, they need something from this pool. The lion has moved away. The hyena has not. The group does not rush the water. They circle. They watch the grass. The hyena paces on the opposite bank, testing the same distance. Eventually, one person steps forward while the others remain upright behind him. He kneels. He drinks quickly. The water tastes of warm mud. For a few hours, the choice seems correct. Then, after dark, his stomach begins to cramp. He bends forward. He vomits. Later comes diarrhea. By morning, the person who drank the most cannot stand without help. Animals stand in the pool. Waste gathers near it. Mud is churned from below. Fish and carcasses decay at the edge. As the water volume falls, the material entering it does not necessarily fall with it. Bad water can cause vomiting and diarrhea. In a wet environment, that is an illness. In a severe dry season, it can remove water faster than thirst alone. Now the group has gained water and lost mobility. Did these people boil water, filter it, or dig beside a pool and wait for cleaner seepage? No surviving trace gives us a secure answer. What the danger does tell them is this. One known pool is not a permanent answer. It has a useful life. They must take what they can before it becomes more dangerous than the journey away. But the sick person still needs water, and the group still needs food. The lion has left part of the antelope behind. The hyena reaches the carcass first. It tears at the abdomen, feeds, and retreats only when several humans approach together. What remains looks like an answer: meat, organs, and blood beside the water they cannot trust. Could blood replace the pool? Blood contains water, and humans in some societies have consumed animal blood. Prehistoric people may sometimes have done so too, but blood also carries salts, proteins, cellular material, and possible pathogens. It cannot safely replace fresh water for long. The meat is not a complete rescue either. Dry season animals can be thin. Lean meat supplies protein, but processing large amounts of protein also requires water and energy. Heat accelerates spoilage. A carcass already opened by predators carries another layer of risk. The humans may take usable meat. The archaeological site shows that terrestrial animals were part of a broad diet, but one carcass cannot hold the river in place, and fighting a large animal or scavenger can cost the ability they need most, the ability to walk. Then someone notices movement in the pool, not beside it, inside it. Before the water reveals its second face, a nearly invisible clue tells us when this story happened. At approximately the same time, the Toba supervolcano erupted on Sumatra, thousands of kilometers away. These people were not beside Toba's lava. They did not escape a nearby pyroclastic flow, and Toba is not proven to have caused this dry season. What reached Ethiopia was microscopic volcanic glass. Researchers matched the chemistry of tiny shards in the sediment to the youngest Toba tuff. The people living there may never have noticed them, but to archaeologists, the shards work like a timestamp. Artifacts and animal remains occur through the sequence around that marker. The glass establishes the age. It does not provide the survival method. That method appears in the remains of meals. The site contains a wide range of terrestrial and aquatic animals. During the interval associated with the Toba marker, fish become more frequent relative to terrestrial fauna. Some fish fragments were heated or calcined, supporting human processing rather than a purely natural pile of dead fish. That is strange. If the river was dying, why did fish become more important? Back at the pool, the answer strikes the surface. A fish breaks the water. Then another. The pool that looked like a cup of dirty water is moving with trapped bodies. In a connected river, those fish could travel upstream, downstream into deeper water, undercover, or beyond a human's reach, but the current has stopped. Side channels are dry. One river has broken into isolated pools. The drought did not create more fish. It closed their exits. One person wades into the shallows. Fish scatter, but there is nowhere distant to go. Another person blocks the narrowest edge. Hands enter the water. A fish is thrown onto the mud. Then another. The unusually abundant fish remains suggests that people caught them in increasingly small and shallow waterholes during a long dry season. The failing river has become a natural trap. For the first time, the group gains food without chasing a large animal across dry ground or closing with horns and teeth. The food is beside the resource they cannot travel without. Fish can be gathered and processed near camp. The heated and calcined fragments recovered there show that at least some were exposed to fire. The group eats. For one evening, the dying river looks generous. The next morning, fish are floating belly up. The pool is warmer now. Fish crowd the surface, opening their mouths. A few still move. Others drift against the edge. Flies have found them. The hyena returns, drawn by the smell. The same physical process that made fish easy to catch is now destroying the pool. Less water heats faster. Crowded fish consume the remaining oxygen. Dead fish decompose. Waste, carcasses, and scavengers add to the contamination. What was a food store yesterday begins to smell like a grave. The group tries to collect what remains useful. But each hour changes the calculation. Arrive too early, and the fish still have the river. Arrive at the right time, and the broken channels concentrate them. Stay too long, and food, water, and health fail together. This is the second cruel rule of the river. The trap works on the fish first. Then it works on the humans who refuse to leave it. The sick person from the previous night can now walk only with support. Waiting may help him recover. Waiting will also shrink the pool and shorten the next journey's water supply. The group cannot solve that contradiction with more fish. Survival stories like to find one object and turn it into a superpower. Here, that object would be fish, but the humans catch several, and the pool does not refill. Every meal makes the next one smaller. Some fish rot before they can be used. The water continues to fall whether the group is hungry or full. The more important evidence is not one perfect food. It is dietary breadth. The remains include terrestrial mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, mollusks, and fish. This does not mean every item was equally important, and plant foods may be underrepresented because they preserve poorly. It does mean the people were not tied to one animal arriving on schedule. When terrestrial prey became expensive or dangerous, aquatic food could matter more. When fish became trapped, people could exploit them. When the pool began to decay, changing the menu could no longer preserve the water. The question shifts again. Not, what can we eat here? But, can we reach the next pool before this one takes our ability to move? They leave while water is still visible. That feels wrong. Behind them is a known pool, trapped fish, and an animal carcass. Ahead is a dry channel bending out of sight. The sick person leans on another adult. The group moves more slowly because no one can simply be discarded without changing the group itself. By midday, the mud plates become dust. There is no blue water ahead. One person walks toward a patch of green and finds only bitter leaves over dry soil. Another set of footprints joins the channel. Antelope tracks, then turns away. The group has spent water and found none. This is why leaving is not the opposite of danger. It is another way to die. Travel in heat increases water loss. Dehydration slows movement. Slower movement increases the time between known water sources. A wrong turn costs water twice, once going out and once returning. Then the dry channel dips. The soil darkens. Insects rise from a shaded hollow. Hoofprints from several species converge instead of separating. The landscape begins to point. A seasonal river does not vanish without leaving a shape. Its bed remains lower than the land around it. Deeper pockets can stay damp longer. Greener plants may reveal hidden moisture. Animal tracks show where thirsty bodies are still moving. The group follows the channel rather than crossing open dry ground blindly. Around the bend is not a full river. It is another pool, smaller than they hoped, large enough for today. Researchers call this possible movement system a blue highway, not a permanent blue ribbon, but a route stitched together from dry season water holes. The evidence reveals a possible way through dry landscapes, not the exact route of this group or proof that they left Africa along it, but it explains how an arid interval could remain traversable. The same dry season that concentrates danger also concentrates information. Tracks show where animals still go. Fish show where water was recently connected. Vegetation shows where moisture persists. The riverbed turns an enormous landscape into a sequence of urgent choices. Use this pool. Leave before it fails. Follow the channel. Find the next one while you can still walk. They were not crossing a land without water. They may have been following water as it disappeared. These people did not defeat drought. We do not know that they purified every pool. We cannot show that they drove away every predator. We cannot claim that blood replaced water, one weapon solved hunger, or one food carried them through the season. What the evidence shows is narrower and stronger. Humans occupied this highly seasonal, arid setting. They used a broad range of terrestrial and aquatic animals. Fish became unusually important during the interval in which shrinking waterholes may have made them easier to capture. Human activity continued through the archaeological sequence around the microscopic Toba marker, and together, the evidence and the risks reveal a sequence. Water shrinks. Animals gather. Predators follow. Channels break. Fish lose their exits. The pool provides food. Then heat and decay turn it dangerous. Before dehydration takes mobility, the group must move. Survival is not one answer. It is noticing when the answer has changed. Return to the first pool the next morning. It is smaller now. A few fish open their mouths in warm mud. Flies rise from the antelope at the edge. The hyena remains. The lion is no longer visible, which does not mean it is gone. But the human footprints no longer lead toward the water. They turn away from it. They follow the dry riverbed beyond the pool toward another low place in the land. For the humans, this had been the last water. For the predators, the last hunting ground. For the fish, the last escape route. The pool offered water. Then it offered food. Soon it would offer disease and death. The people did not wait to see the final change. They left before the water did.